All right, you guys. Philip here with Queen Anne's Reef. Today we are working on the lighting rack for the 310. So yes, we are back on the 310. We are building the light rack, and unfortunately I got kind of ahead of myself. I should have videoed myself building the light rack. It's the framing of the light rack is just your basic 2x4s. I took some measurements, went ahead and placed the intervals of where we'll be placing the lights. And I just got a box sitting there right now. I'd actually started hanging our bracket or our eyelets and everything from the ceiling. Like I said, I should have backed up and videoed all this, but I got ahead of myself. I was kind of excited because I was wanting to get a jump start on it. But it's just a basic frame, same measurements that's going to be on the tank. And what we did is, obviously you can see where our sectional intervals, where the bracing is. Each section will have the lights hanging over it. So what we're going to do is, this section is going to be only one section of lights. This one will have two, and then the final section will have one. And the reason being is, I've told you guys in the past, this main centerpiece here will have mainly SPS and then LPS midway down. We might put some softies in the bottom, but mainly the center will be the showcase of the SPS, and out towards the edges we'll be having the meat corals, the softies, LPS, Euphilia, etc. So I'm going to keep you going on what I've done. Built the frame, obviously put the hanging eyelets on it. You want to make sure you're getting your light dispersion properly. When you're setting and hanging up your lights, you want to minimize your light bleed over from your height, so you're not throwing light down on the floor. You want to kind of keep it in the tank. That way you get your par bounce back, because that is, if you got, anybody's ever watched BRS, they've done a lot of studies on light bounce, and it actually will reflect light back into your tank. So you want to optimize anything hitting your glass. Also, you got to keep in mind centering it up this way. That way, same concept. You want to make sure it's evenly keeping the light, so there's not much light bleed over onto the floor. So I'm going to keep going on this. Sorry, and I apologize that I didn't get the video started on this, but I'll keep you guys going. I've already started hanging the eyelets in the ceiling. These are basically the wing nut lags through the sheetrock, and they are if I'm not mistaken, I think they're the 38 pound per. So we're evenly dispersing these. The cable that we would be using there is the 100 pound cable, and this should be more than sufficient when with this just simple light rack. So they're theoretically more than enough sufficient to hold what we're going to be putting up there. All right, so I'll keep at it. Okay, so we've got our eyelets lagged to the ceiling. Now, when you're hanging your eyelets, if you're going to do this type of light rack, I would recommend either using a stud finder and finding a stud and hitting each floor or ceiling joist. This is my basement, so I would be hitting the first floor floor joist, but I was not, just where I aligned my eyelets, it wound up being in between each joist. So I'm using the wing nuts, the wing lags, or however you want to call them. But they are more than, these are the 1/4 inch lags, more than efficient enough, because I'm doing 6. And as you can see, use a fender washer to cinch it down with a 1/4 inch nut. And the next thing we're going to be doing is using the 100 pound stainless, 100 pound braided stainless cable to connect them up. All right, so now we've got all 4 corners. They are tied up now, and we are in the process of leveling. I won't do these last 2 middle ones until we get all the corners this way, which will be, I've already started placing the level on this cross member and the other cross member going across that way. We want to make sure that we're setting everything level. That way, when we go to hang the lights from the center braces, that at least you're somewhat in the ballpark, so you're not fighting your pitch and yaw both ways. Just makes your life easier later on. That way, when your rack's straight, your lights will be easier to align. So as you can see, we've got this piece leveled. We've got to make sure all sides are level, and then I'll tie up the center. All right, so now we've got everything tied up, secured. We double backed on the 100-pound cable. You can see it's double wrapped and went back on each eyelet twice. It's more than enough. It's kind of redundancy, but I'd rather be safe than sorry on this. It'll never, almost impossible to ever snap or anything like that, but just safety reasons, just being careful. So as you guys can see how we've split it over the center for each section evenly. I don't know if you guys can see that comparison, but it's pretty close. Got everything level and everything nice and straight, parallel with the tank and everything. So this is a basic wood frame light rack. There's other ways that, like, there's many different ways, like aluminum, extrusion aluminum, just plain aluminum, L channel, C channel, different ways to build racks. And you can also buy those prefab ones from VRS and a few of the other companies, but this one wasn't too bad, not too expensive. Easy way to expand 8 feet. Some of the ones that you have to buy prefab, they could be pretty pricey. I got out with this fairly cheap and inexpensive. I would say it's easily under $100 to build this light rack. If you want to paint it, you can. I just, as you can tell, everything else in my reef room is raw wood. This is one of my old original displays. That's the only reason it is painted and built the way it is. But everything else I've just left raw wood. So it's not a big deal to me that it's left just the plain raw wood. So very short, quick, easy video for you guys. Nothing complicated or fancy. Just wanted you guys to see the light rack as I got it installed. Hopefully soon I'll be getting some lights ordered and hung up. The issue is I just got to get some time off of work to start working on this. So, all right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video. Please like, share, subscribe. Comments if you guys got any questions or want to know anything, how to do this kind of thing. It's pretty easy. Just let us know at Queen Anne's Reef. We have the Facebook and the YouTube. You guys have a good evening.